The series begins with a group of students on their way to school, specifically to Kaun High School. Among these students is a girl named Kijun, who appears very attractive. It's obvious she's really beautiful, and everyone around her talks about her looks and tries to talk to her and greet her. But she doesn't interact with them at all, not out of arrogance or pride, but because this is her main issue throughout the entire series. She doesn't know how to be social or interact with the people around her. When Kijun enters the school, she pulls out her phone, and we see that she's a big deal on the Insta app, which, by the way, is one of the most important social media platforms in their world. All the students use this app constantly, posting about everything that happens during their day. Kijun walks up the stairs full of confidence, but then a shock. Two boys come rushing down and bump into her by accident. She gets really upset with them, but it turns out to be a good thing. It snaps her out of a daydream. Everything up until that moment was just her imagination. She's not actually attractive or special in any way. And as we said earlier, she doesn't know how to interact with others or be social. Then the two boys come back to apologize. One of them says he didn't even notice her and asks if she's in their class. She tells them she's not, but she's clearly very upset by the encounter. She feels invisible, like no one even notices she exists. And that, she realizes, is her problem in life. She just doesn't know how to be social. When Kijun is in her class, all her classmates are on the Insta app, laughing and joking around while reading the posts. Every single one of them is active on the app. Meanwhile, Kijun sits alone and completely disconnected. Even though she has an account on the app, she doesn't know how to become popular or how to write anything that would attract attention from the others. Kijun tries to write a post that might grab attention, but she just doesn't know what to publish. She even tries using AI for help, but she doesn't get anywhere and becomes even more frustrated. She ends up talking to herself, her voice growing louder. And when she notices someone sitting near her, she worries she disturbed him with her voice and tries to apologize. But he tells her he didn't even realize she was sitting there in the first place. Naturally, this hurts her even more. His words hit a nerve because she already feels unseen. Then one of her classmates, the class president named Choi, stands up and tells everyone to put their homework on the desk in front of them. When they ask about PE class, she says they'll spend it in the classroom instead. Everyone is thrilled because they want to stay inside and use the Insta app. When Kijun sees how much everyone likes the class president and how good she is at dealing with people, she thinks to herself, this is what a truly social person looks like. Someone everyone loves. That's why she's able to be the class president. Later, the class president asks about two students who haven't arrived yet, and when they finally do, they joke around with her. Kijun talks to herself again, noting how that boy is great at being social and how everyone around him likes him. The boy jokes with the class president, and Kijun finds out that he's training to become a celebrity. She becomes really taken by his handsome appearance and concludes that it's his good looks that make him so social. When Kijun leaves school, she's upset that she still doesn't know how to become social. Then she calls her mother. She heads home to find out what's for dinner, only to be shocked when she discovers that her family went out to eat without telling her. She gets even more upset when her mother tells her she simply forgot to take her along. Kijun hangs up the phone, furious. As she's walking, someone accidentally bumps into her, making her even more frustrated and drained. She keeps walking, unaware that the person who bumped into her looks back at her, as if he knows who she is. When Kijun returns home, she tries once again to connect with someone on the Insta app, but no one seems interested. The next day at school, she's on her way to gym class when one of her classmates, a handsome boy who's training to become a celebrity, stops her. He tells her he forgot his phone and asks to use hers. Kijun immediately gives him her phone. As she waits for him to finish using it, she's mesmerized by his good looks. She wants to talk to him but hesitates, feeling like she talks too much. When he's done, he hands the phone back and tells her she should hurry so she doesn't miss gym class. She asks if he's going too, but he says he's feeling a bit sick and is going to the nurse's office. Out on the field, Kijun sits alone while her classmates chat and joke with each other. She sits there quietly, thinking about her conversation with the handsome boy, happy that she finally spoke to someone. Then she overhears her classmates talking about a lipstick one of them brought and how they'll show it to the others once they're back in class. When they return to class, the girls realize the lipstick is missing. They're visibly upset, and since Kijun was the last to leave the classroom earlier, they immediately ask her about it. Kijun tries to speak, but her voice is so quiet and nervous that no one hears her. She tries to leave, but the handsome boy shows up and stops her. He tells everyone that he was actually the last person to leave the classroom, not Kijun, and that she didn't take anything. Looking around, he spots the missing lipstick and hands it back to them. He tells them they should search better before accusing someone and insists they apologize to Kijun. They do. and then leave. Kajun stays in her seat. The class president walks over and asks if she's upset, but Kajun says she's fine. The president tells her she should have stood up for herself. Just then, the handsome boy steps in again, saying that the president's tone probably made Kajun too nervous to speak up. The president, a bit surprised, asks if he's feeling okay. She'd heard he went to the nurse. He says he was just making sure he was fine. Then he turns to Kajun and asks if she's okay. She says yes, and inside, Kajun is filled with happiness. Finally, someone has stood up for her and shown that they care. She tries to thank him, but he doesn't hear her. Then, when he says her name, he gets it wrong. She looks at him, visibly disappointed, and leaves school upset that he didn't even get her name right. As she waits for the bus, she finds a phone lying next to her. She figures someone must have forgotten it. When she opens it, she sees that it has the INSA app, the one she's always struggled to connect through. She finds tons of messages coming in and realizes this phone belongs to someone from school. She's thrilled. This phone is what helps her discover all the anonymous posts being made and who's behind them. It's later revealed that the handsome boy was actually the one who asked the two boys from the first day of school to go back and apologize to her. The next day, a group of girls, who appear to be reporters, visit the company that trains young men to become stars. The trainees are strictly forbidden from showing their faces in public, as it goes against company rules. The girls try to take pictures of the trainees, but fail. Suddenly, the handsome boy from the high school walks by. And unlike the others, he isn't hiding his face at all. The rest of his friends had already hidden, so he ends up being clearly photographed. His picture is uploaded to the INSA app, and people quickly find out who he is and which grade he's in, all of which goes against the rules of stardom. Kanjo goes back to school and plays basketball really well. He's a pro at it. When he returns to class, the teacher announces that Kanjo ranked first in the recent exam. The teacher asks the class to applaud him, and Kanjo thanks them. We find out that he's always the top student in the class. Meanwhile, Kijun is heading home, holding the phone she found. She wishes she could be the admin of the INSA app so she could learn how to deal with people. It's one of her dreams. When she gets home and opens the phone, she discovers that she really is the admin of the app. And now she can see all the anonymous posts and who writes them. The next day, a new student arrives at school. Kijun is walking into class, thinking to herself that she knows everything now because of the phone she found. She overhears her classmates talking about someone and tries to join in to be more social. She mistakenly thinks they're talking about a cartoon character, but they're shocked when they realize she has no idea what they're talking about. They whisper that she's annoying and just pretending to know everything. Later, in class, she sees one of her classmates whose post she read on INSA. He'd written that he lost his earphones. Wanting to help, she asks if he needs new ones. But he realizes she somehow knew he lost them and becomes suspicious. Kijun tries to avoid further questions, but the classmate gets upset and walks away. The teacher enters and asks the class to quiet down, saying they're the loudest in the school. Then the new student, the one who got out of the car earlier, that walks in. He looks like a soldier, and there's something intense about him. The teacher asks him to introduce himself. After the teacher leaves, Kanjo and another student go up to greet him. The new student finds out that Kanjo is training at an entertainment company. When he asks about it, Kanjo gets a little flustered, as if hiding something. He grabs his friend and they leave to go eat pizza. Kijun steps out and overhears some classmates talking about a video that had been posted and quickly deleted from the app. She remembers she can find out who posted it using the phone she now has. Since she's the admin, she runs off to check the phone before anyone sees her. At the same time, Kanjo goes back to the classroom to get his phone and finds a note on his desk telling him to go to the auditorium to meet someone. When he gets there, he sees it's Kijun. He asks her what she wants from him. She seems thrilled that he actually came. Kijun shows Kanjo a video she has. It's of a guy singing very badly. Everyone in class has been talking about it and trying to figure out who it is. Kijun tells him he's the one in the video, the guy with the terrible voice that everyone laughed at. Kanjo denies it and acts like he doesn't know what she's talking about, then returns to class. The class president, Choi, asks him to record a video with her, but he's annoyed and refuses. Just then, Kijun approaches, and he's shocked to see her. He asks her to talk outside. As they leave, the new guy notices them together. They go to a quiet spot in school, and Kijun tells Kanjo this will be their secret meeting place from now on. Kanjo asks why they're meeting. We flash back to earlier when Kijun had told him that she knew he was the one singing in the video. She made him a deal. She would delete the video and never tell anyone, if he did her a favor. When he asked what kind of favor, she said, "You have to confess in front of everyone that you like me." Kanjo is surprised, but Kijun tells him that she wants to be famous, and the only way she can do that is if he helps her. He believes her. When Kanjo goes to school, he finds that his pictures have been spread everywhere. All his friends gather around, wanting to take photos with him. They also tell him that his photos have gone viral on Instagram. We then flash back again to the moment when Kijun stood with Kanjo and pressured him to confess, in front of all their friends, that he has a crush on her. Naturally, he's shocked by her request. He tells her he's a trainee and can't do something like that, but she insists, saying she wants to be famous on Insta and can't do it without the help of someone already popular. When he refuses, she promises she'll keep his secret and won't tell anyone, if he helps her. Eventually, it's clear that Kanjo agrees to help. Back in the present, Kijun thanks him for agreeing to help, but Kanjo says he only did it because she blackmailed him with the video. Kijun then explains how she wants him to confess to her in front of his classmates, during the first class of the day, to say that he likes her. But Kanjo gets angry, calling the idea crazy. Seeing him upset, Kijun suggests an alternative, that he confess to her after his basketball match. Kanjo still doesn't like the idea and tells her that all her suggestions are outdated. He says she needs to behave well if she wants to be liked and popular. She replies by telling him to come up with the plan himself, and just like that, their deal is over. That night, while Kijun is in her room, she opens the app and sees lots of people posting that they're going to confess their love on confession day. She starts imagining Kanjo carrying out the plan, and she gets really excited. Meanwhile, Kanjo is in his room, angry and confused, unsure how to do what Kijun asked. He tries to find a way to end the deal. As Kijun scrolls through the phone, she sees some girls talking about the new transfer student. Surprised at how popular he's become even though he only arrived a week ago. She searches for him on Insta but finds he's not even registered on the app. The next day at school, Kijun notices every pair of students sitting together looking like they're in love. She becomes more desperate to become famous. Without meaning to, she bumps into the new student and her phone falls to the ground. She apologizes and he talks to her. It seems like he already knows her from before, then walks away. Meanwhile, Kanjo arrives in class. The class president comes up to him and tells him someone just confessed their love to their crush, so now he has to confess too. Kijun walks into class, expecting Kanjo to confess in front of everyone, but he hesitates and walks away. She's disappointed. As Kijun walks through the schoolyard, two boys are splashing water at each other, and some of the water hits her. She freezes, not knowing what to do. Kanjo steps in and shields her from the water. He uses the opportunity to confess his love to her in front of everyone. Kijun walks away silently. As she heads up the stairs, she runs into the new student again. He talks to her once more and remembers a moment when she almost fell, and both he and Kanjo had caught her by the arm to stop her. After the new student walks away, he tells his company director that he wants to stay at the school and graduate from it. The director senses that it's because of his old flame. The director then asks if there's anyone else training to become a star. The new student replies that he's the only one signed with the company. That's when he realizes that Kanjo lied. He's not training with any company, just as Leon and Kijun are saved. After Kanjo saves Kijun from falling, he asks her why she was standing with that guy. Kijun tells him it's an old friend. Kanjo asks her to sit and talk together. And when they do, he asks her about the friend she was with. Kijun explains that she's known him for 6 or 7 years, from back when they lived in the same neighborhood. But after he moved away, she never heard from him again. Kanjo tells her that he confessed his feelings for her like she wanted, but she responds that she still isn't famous on Instagram, as per their agreement. She suggests she could reject him in front of everyone so it creates more buzz and helps her become more famous. But her suggestion really angers Kanjo. She pressures him again using the video she has, and that forces him to agree to everything she asks. They decide that he'll teach her how to be more social. He tells her to focus on the unique parts of her personality. Kijun is inspired by what he says and walks off to start putting it into action. On her way, she meets 2 girls who are upset. She tries to comfort them and get them out of their emotional slump, but she ends up failing. Kanjo tells her she went about it the wrong way. She decides to try a new method. Later, during PE class, she tries to show off her athleticism. She gets overly enthusiastic while kicking the ball and ends up falling flat on her face. Another failure. She keeps trying different methods, but continues to fail. Kanjo comes over, takes her aside, and tells her everything she's doing is wrong. She starts crying and tells him he's a popular social guy and would never understand what she's going through. He tells her that if he hadn't lied and said he was a trainee star, he'd be just a regular guy with no fame. And if that lie is exposed, his status with his friends will completely change. But she tells him that even if he weren't a star, he'd still be popular and well-liked. As Kijun walks away, she sees 2 of her classmates mistreating Mong. Kanjo's friend. She gets suspicious, sensing something is off. The next day at school, Kijun is in a good mood. The new student secretly draws a picture of her on a small paper and wants to give it to her. But before he can, the class president Choi shows up and starts talking to her. Kijun is thrilled that someone is starting to engage with her. Choi invites her to have lunch with them, and Kijun is excited to finally be part of a group. On her way to lunch, she runs into the new student Lee Young, who always acts dismissively toward her. He teases her again, saying her face is full of wrinkles and that she hasn't changed at all since the old days. She gets upset and tells him not to say such things anymore. Lee Young tells her she's acting like this because Kanjo confessed his love to her, and she's trying to forget the past. But she insists she doesn't want to be her old self anymore, and says she's going to lunch with her new friends. As Kijun walks with her new group, Choi tells her that she's now their new friend. They ask her about her relationship with Kanjo and his confession. Then Lee Young joins them, walking with the group, and starts talking about his past with Kijun, how he used to protect her when they were kids. He then asks Kijun what her decision is regarding Kanjo, as if it's some kind of public demand, clearly showing he's very interested in her and starting to get jealous of Kanjo. Lee Young also begins dropping hints about Kanjo's supposed training, since he now knows it's all a lie. Kanjo, meanwhile, is walking down the street when he runs into Lee Young. Lee Young tells him that if he's really a trainee, he should be at the agency now because there's a class going on. Kanjo tries to avoid the situation, but Lee Young grabs him aggressively and tells him straight up that he's a liar. Not a trainee, not a star. Kanjo realizes Lee Young has found out the truth and believes Kijun must have told him. He thinks she betrayed him by exposing his lie. Lee Young gets angry, accusing Kanjo of deceiving innocent Kijun, unaware that she actually knew all along and had planned everything with Kanjo from the beginning. Kanjo gets upset and walks away, leaving. Meanwhile, Kijun is sitting with her friends at a restaurant, enjoying the food and telling them it's her first time going out to eat with others. Suddenly, Young's phone rings and he steps outside. While he's gone, the class president asks Kijun what she thinks of Kanjo. Kijun shyly says she's still thinking about it. Then she remembers the two girls she saw earlier walking with Young and asks the class president if she can go to the bathroom. But in reality, she wants to find out where Young went. Outside, she sees Young giving money to a girl who's being very rude to him. Kijun steps in, which annoys Young. He snaps at her and scolds her for getting involved. Later, when she goes back to school, she tries messaging Kanjo, but he sees her texts and ignores them on purpose. Kijun is confused and doesn't understand why. When she sees him in class, he still doesn't respond and deliberately humiliates her in front of everyone by refusing to talk to her. Her old friend sees her in this state, takes her outside the classroom, and asks her why she's upset and why she's always hanging out with Kanjo. He then asks if she likes Kanjo because he's a trainee or because he's handsome. Kijun doesn't answer. She just cries and asks to leave, but he grabs her arm to stop her. At that moment, Kanjo walks out and sees him holding her arm, which makes him think something is going on between them. Her old friend tells her that Kanjo deceived her and everyone else, that he's not a trainee at all. Kijun, flustered, tells him he doesn't even know any of her friends. Her friend realizes she already knew the truth, and Kijun says Kanjo must have had a reason for what he did. He then asks her if she has feelings for Kanjo, but she says they're just friends. She emphasizes again that he doesn't know any of her circle and walks away. At home, she tries calling Kanjo again, but his phone is turned off. The next day at school, she tries to talk to him, but he walks off again. She tries explaining that there's been a misunderstanding, but his mind is already made up and he walks away again. Later, Kanjo is walking with Young and Choi when he suddenly walks off. Young leaves soon after, and the class president is left feeling upset and alone. Kijun is walking home when she sees Young being attacked by some people. She quickly records the incident. When they notice her, she shows them a video of the girl who was with them. The same girl now seen standing with another guy. The guy gets mad and wants to hit the girl, but Kijun stops him and keeps recording. The girl gets furious and hits Kijun. The guy also tries to attack her, but Kanjo suddenly shows up and fights them off. Kijun apologizes to him and tells him she didn't expose his secret, that he misunderstood everything. The next day, Kijun is super happy at school because for the first time she's become popular on the app. Her friends thank her. She rushes to the usual spot where she meets Kanjo and finds him waiting for her. She thanks him for helping her become famous, and he apologizes for misunderstanding her. She tells him that he's the one who taught her how to be social. She asks him to keep teaching her and says she'll work hard and learn fast. She holds his hand, which makes him flustered, but he agrees to teach her. At that moment, her old friend shows up and says he'll help her become social too. Kijun and Kanjo are both surprised. Then the friend says that the reason she lacks confidence is because of the wrinkles on her face. This upsets her, and also annoys Kanjo. He tells him that instead of criticizing her, he should be highlighting her good traits. Mocking him, her old friend asks Kanjo to list what's special about her. Kanjo tries, but struggles. He can only say that she's kind. The friend interrupts, saying he's known her longer and knows her better. But Kanjo insists that he knows her better now. The two start to argue again, and Kijun avoids the fight. And when they return to class, the class president announces a competition. It's a 1-minute video challenge. Jijun gets really excited and wants to film a video. At first, she thinks of asking Kanjo or her old friend to film it with her. But when she asks them, they both refuse. Because as a trainee, Kanjo isn't allowed to show his face publicly. They tell her she should rely on herself. That's when she remembers the terrible video she made before and changes her mind completely. Kanjo tells her she has to depend on herself if she wants to win. Her old friend mocks her, saying she doesn't even know what a short video really is. When Kijun returns to class, she finds all her friends filming together. Then Young enters and smiles at her. She thinks he's coming to film with her, but instead, he joins someone else. She finds the class president, Choi, and asks if she can join her for the video shoot. Choi agrees and is impressed by Kijun's boldness. Meanwhile, Kanjo is walking in the street when he runs into Kijun's old friend, who tells him that he's interested in Kijun. But he also tells Kanjo he's lying and therefore unqualified to take care of her, and that he should stay away from her. Later, Kijun is lying on her bed when Choi sends her the dance video they'll perform together. Kijun watches the video with Kanjo, but quickly gives up because she doesn't know how to dance. Kanjo tells her that Choi is a professional dancer and a well-known YouTuber who has been dancing since she was a child. Then Kijun's old friend joins them and helps teach her the dance. Kijun becomes really happy and excited to learn. After memorizing the dance, she visits Choi, who's taking some pills but hides them when she sees Kijun enter. Choi clearly seems upset with Kijun, and it turns out that she used to have feelings for Kanjo. But Kanjo ended up falling for Kijun and confessed to her. Right before the dance performance starts, Kanjo, Kijun's old friend, and Young all arrive to watch. When the dance begins, Kijun steals the spotlight and impresses everyone. The audience becomes very engaged with her, which annoys Choi. Afterward, in the bathroom, Kijun runs into Choi and tries to talk to her. But Choi coldly tells her to stay away. Suddenly, Choi collapses and passes out. Kijun rushes her to the school clinic with Kanjo. The nurse says Choi had taken diet pills, which are banned at school. Later, Kijun checks in on Choi and finds her awake, but Choi speaks to her harshly, saying she hates her and that she's nothing in life. Kijun becomes deeply upset, realizing Choi loved Kanjo. Then Kijun tells Kanjo they should confess everything to everyone, including the fact that their confession was planned. She tells him that if he refuses, she'll release his video. Kanjo tries to talk to her and understand why she's changed, but she avoids him and insists he must do as she says. Kijun then sits alone, reflecting on how close she's gotten to Kanjo, and tells herself that she should have kept her distance. Suddenly, her old friend shows up and finds her crying. He takes her to a restaurant to eat. At first, Kijun refuses to eat anything, but Young gently forces her to eat a little. She tells him that she should have stayed away because she caused harm to others, referring to Choi, and that she should have remained innocent. Young gets upset when he hears her say that and takes her to the place they used to play as kids. There, he encourages her, telling her she must be strong and not let her face become full of wrinkles. Kijun brings up Kanjo, which makes Young angry. Suddenly, they run into Kanjo. He stays with them and tries to approach Kijun, but Young stops him and tells him that he was the one who met her first. Kijun interrupts and says to Young that she tells him she'll meet him again, then walks away, and Kanjo quickly ends things between them. She leaves him. The next day at school, everyone is waiting eagerly for the appearance of Kanjo, the school's star. Kijun tries to talk to Choi, but Choi stops her and doesn't even give her a chance to speak. She talks to her harshly and walks off. Later, Kijun notices that many anonymous posts about Kanjo are spreading online, and she wants to delete them all. While she's sitting at night deleting them, Choi sees her, grabs her phone, and refuses to listen to her explanation. Choi takes the phone and tells her to wait until she returns. At the same time, Kanjo is filming a video in which he confesses everything. Kijun is crying and thinking about telling Kanjo what happened. Meanwhile, Young is at training, and the manager tells him he's now allowed to appear publicly with his face shown. The next day at school, Kijun finds all her friends talking about Young after discovering he's a trainee. She doesn't see either Kanjo or Young around. Then Choi shows up and pulls Kijun aside to talk. She demands the phone back, promising she won't misuse it again. But Kijun refuses. She tells Choi that she knows Kanjo's secret and that she's going to post the video to expose him. Kajun tries to stop her, but Choi is determined. As Choi walks away, Kajun runs after her, bumps into her, and knocks the phone out of her hand, then grabs it and runs. Of course, this angers Choi, and she screams. When Kajun returns to class, everyone is talking about Kanjo's sudden appearance. She bumps into Young, drops the phone, and panics, thinking it might be broken. Young tells her that Kanjo's secret is about to come out. Kijun is deeply affected and wants to find a way to help Kanjo. This annoys Young, and he walks away, leaving her. Kijun heads to a place in school and finds Kanjo there. With Choi and Young, she checks on him, and he checks on her too. Kijun tries to find a solution for Kanjo's situation, but Choi is very angry. Kijun then confesses that she's the one behind the anonymous app and that she can see all the posts, who posted them and who deleted them. Kanjo believes her and realizes she's telling the truth. At that moment, Kanjo feels his secret is already exposed, so he decides to release a video in which he confesses he's not part of the trainee group. Choi gets angry, curses, and storms off after hearing the video. Kijun cries, telling Kanjo she was going to fix the situation, but he calmly tells her to relax. When they return to class, they find their classmates have defaced Kanjo's spot with paint and thrown trash at it. Kijun and Young stop them. Then Young calls out to Kanjo and they leave together. On the day of the video competition awards, the winner is announced. It's Kanjo. He goes up on stage and apologizes to his friends, saying he lived a life of lies but now wants to live honestly and peacefully. Later, Choi calls and meets with him. She apologizes, and Kijun sees them together, happy that they made peace. Kijun returns the phone to the place where she found it, and then meets Kanjo. When she sees him, she hugs him and thanks him for teaching her valuable lessons and for facing the problem bravely. While sitting together, he confesses that he truly loves her. They stay together happily with their friends. In the final scene, Kijun says, "Everyone should focus on the unique traits in their personality in order to be loved and become popular." And just like that, our series comes to an end. If you like the show, don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe, and press the bell icon so you won't miss any of the new shows.